Genesis chapter 2, verse 9. The Lord God made all kinds of trees grow out of the ground, trees that were pleasing to the eye. That's that word. Desirable, pleasurable to the eye, and good for food. God said these are good. In the middle of the garden was the tree of life, still a good tree to eat, and the tree of the knowledge of what? Good and evil. The tree of the knowledge of good and not good. That was what man was not meant to have. The knowledge. Genesis chapter 1 and 2 is not just a kid's Sunday school lesson. Genesis chapter 1 and 2 is for us in our lives every single day. God is the one who determines what is good and not good. And He gave human beings the choice to say, okay, God, I'm going to trust You with what's good and not good. I'm going to trust You to determine that for my life. Or I'm going to take hold of the fruit. I'm going to open the door. And I'm going to open the door to the knowledge. Me deciding. Me determining what's good and not good for my life. Let's look at Genesis chapter 3, verse 6. That word, hamad, covet, it's used all through these verses. See if you can pick it out in Genesis chapter 3, verse 6. When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food, pleasing to the eye, good for food. That appetite that we have, that craving that we have. She wasn't just hungry for a piece of fruit. It was that appetite that's in us for things that we desire and that will pleasure us. It was desirable, there it is again, for gaining wisdom. The wisdom of knowing and deciding what is good and what is not good. She had the opportunity to trust God to determine for her life what was good and not good. That was God's place. That was His job. That was His role. She decided to take that from God. It's easy to point fingers at Eve. When I was on that mower and I was looking at those pictures of that vacation, I was deciding what was good for me and what was not good for me. Boy, it sure would be nice to be on vacation and not have to deal with the mowing and the games and all this stuff. But I would have missed out on the blessing that God gave me that day of spending time with my children and pouring His word into them that night. That's why we don't need to determine what's good for our lives and what's not good. That's why we need to look to the only one who has that authority, and we should not try to take what is His. Do you see the danger of coveting?